Hey guys, NPC Schizo here from Game Grunts, coming at you with another Fallout 76 video. And in this episode, what I want to do is kind of touch on a couple topics that have been coming up in the Wasteland that I think are fairly interesting and that maybe you're probably going to want to know too. But before we get started, I want to take the time out to thank you, the viewer, for taking the time to give me a chance and coming to view the content that I've created. Okay guys, so I wanted to touch on some news that's pretty big right now in Fallout 76. And something that's kind of going on that I think the community might be missing. And even though you might be aware of what's going on, you might not be aware of the actual particulars. I have some insight to the situation, and I think it might be valuable to you guys, especially if you have a legacy weapon. So if you're familiar with what's going on, Radiation Rumble right now, there is a huge issue. If you go to the event, and what most people are saying, you die in the event, right, you will lose your weapon. I know, sounds crazy, but even worse, you actually end up losing your weapon to an NPC. Yeah, crazy. The NPC steals your weapon. Now, most people think it's just if you just plain old die in Radiation Rumble, you actually lose your weapon. And I could see why they think that, but I don't think that's the real case. I don't think that's actually what is happening. I don't think anybody is just losing their weapons. I think it's a specific weapon. Hear me out. Okay, so there is an NPC in particular. Her name is Marianne Complin. She's the one that actually starts up the event. You just walk up to her and, let her know, count me in, and then you could start the event, right? And so what happens is, obviously, all these ghouls start coming out of the way, and you got to start killing them. But if you die inside the event and then respawn, some players have been popping up without their weapons in their hand. And then come to find out, this NPC is parading around with their weapons. You can't kill her because she's the event organizer. So she's a invincible NPC. Once she steals your weapon, she's the one that has it, and you can't get it back because you can't kill her. Now, beyond that, what I don't think people are really realizing is that it's specifically with explosive type weapons. I think legacy weapons in particular are being targeted. Okay, so there was a video that came out that actually had a person doing this event in power armor with a explosive plasma Gatling. And in the video, you can see him shooting at the ground just a little bit right before he dies. And it kind of looks like the ghoul hits him and then boom, he dies, right? But I don't think that's what happened. I think he killed himself with the explosive damage, and this is why. When me and my friends were in the event yesterday, we started getting into a little bit of PvP, and I have an explosive laser. After the PvP, my friend asked me to kill him because we were done PvPing and we didn't want to mess around and we were ready to move on to what we were doing. I, out of instinct and just pulled out the explosive laser and shot it with him, because when I PvP, that's usually what I use. When I say we were PvPing, I mean two of my friends were kind of having a go at it, and then I was just kind of standing over, doing my own thing, but they were dying back and forth inside of the event, and none of them had lost their weapons until I got involved with my explosive laser. And I killed him because we were ready to move on, and I wasn't PvPing with them, but he was like, hey, somebody kill me so we can go. And I just pulled out my explosive laser and, I killed him real quick. And it was just my first initial reaction. I remember hearing about it, but I wasn't thinking about it at the time. And so when I pulled it out and shot him, he respawns without his weapon. And then I read the article this morning and realized it isn't just any weapon. It isn't just if you die. Because obviously we were PvPing and a couple of us died in that zone without losing our weapons. But it wasn't until I pulled out my explosive laser that it caused a problem. And it made me think, I'm reaching here, but maybe Bethesda did this on purpose. Although uncommon, there have been some instances where some companies that create video games actually get pretty creative when they come up with a way to punish their fan base. normally in situations where they don't want to come down with the ban hammer and destroy the little fan base that they have left, they have to figure out a way to govern certain situations or punish said players that aren't playing within the specifications of the game, and kind of, on layman's terms, like I like to call it, I don't want to call you guys cheaters. Let's just say you guys like to think outside the box, right? Because look, man, I'm not the type of person that likes to duplicate things. Not that I don't see the value in it. It's just tedious. It's a super hard grind. And it's not easy to do. You know what I mean? So, I appreciate people who do that, and I have a explosive laser because of it, but I'm not the one that did the work to get it. Somebody just helped me out and handed it, like, here you go, Skits. And I appreciate them very much so. And so I don't want to paint anybody who's doing anything like that in Fallout 76 in a bad light. I know sometimes I come across pretty conservative in my videos, but look, even though I'm not out there duping stuff, if my buddy who is duping for something says, hey man, let me have such and such items that you have so I can dupe about 1 million of them, I'm like, yeah man, sure, here, take them. And of course he's gonna be like, here man, here's 1 billion things. I'm not about to pick up all that. I just won't, Not that I don't see the reason why other people will, but for me, I just don't do it because, in my opinion, that's just part of the grind of the game. Now, I want an explosive laser because that's PvP meta. If you want to know why, because if I want a PvP, I'm going to need one of those, okay? Just a plain simple fact. So, even though I would like to be a purist about some things, there are just some things I do have to concede to. Some of you guys in my past videos have called my bullshit on that, and I'm man enough to admit you're entirely right about me not being as pure as I say as I am. But I'm not out there actually trying to duplicate or do anything like that, and it's not because I don't see the value. It's just because I think personally that it just kind of eats through your content. Like a game is meant to be grind through, and if you're gonna just kind of burn through all that, it's not that you can't have fun, but I mean you're really just essentially burning through what you paid for, in my perspective. And that doesn't make me right. Opinions are like, everybody's got one. But back to the topic at hand, like I was saying, you really want to make sure that you don't bring your legacy weapons in here, guys. That's, I think, that the big thing that everybody's missing. I think that this is something that is happening. I think Bethesda might have added this into the game on purpose because, what the heck else are they supposed to do about legacy weapons? And it would be one of the most amazing funny things that if you died near an NPC that couldn't be killed, that it would take your weapon if it was a legacy. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think about what I have to say there? I assure you that the issue is with actual legacy weapons, or at least explosive laser weapons and plasma weapons. So whether or not Bethesda is actually responsible, that remains to be seen. They would have to admit to something like that. I would have no way of actually proving that, except for, just the hairs on the back of my neck. But besides my conspiracy theories, the facts are that if you bring your legacy weapon to this location, understand that it is at risk. Okay? That is not a maybe. That is 100%. I have seen that happen with my own 2 eyes. I've seen somebody kill themselves with a legacy weapon and lose it. I've killed somebody with a legacy weapon and watched them lose their weapon. I know for sure that if you die to explosive damage inside of this event, your weapon is coming out of your hand. And it doesn't matter if the weapon in your hand is a legacy. It's just because, honestly, the person that I took out, I don't think he had a legacy weapon on him. It was an explosive fixer, from my understanding. So be very, very careful dying to explosive damage inside of this event, guys. Okay? I hope that helps you out. If you guys have any other information about this particular topic, do me a favor, throw it in the comment section and let me know. Guys, while I have the chance, I would like to take the time to formally apologize to the person who I actually shot inside of the event and caused them to lose their weapon. Apparently, it was a weapon that they had been working very hard for a very long time to get. I'm not sure exactly what the weapon was, to be honest. I can't remember. But I do want to say that this person has actually created their own mixer profile, and what I would like to do is I'm going to go ahead and put their link to their mixer in the description section, and if you guys get the chance, go to it. Don't like my page, don't subscribe, just go to his mixer. For this video, everybody who, instead of liking me, hit his mixer and go follow him, because he's getting started out and he definitely needs some support. All right, guys, NSC Schizo with Game Grunts here, and remember, the NPCs at Radiation Rumble are trying to steal your weapons.